Hey guys, it's your girl T, and I have another story that's coming from my third favorite state, crazy ass California. What's going on now, crazy ass Cali, you ask? What's going on is that you have an 18-year-old teen father. His name is Joshua Cooper. And so he was watching his son, and the baby was only 1 month old. The baby kept crying. So instead of trying to soothe the baby, get the baby a bottle, possibly change his diaper, he decides to grab the baby, hold the baby up, and just bite his damn nose off. Bit his nose off like he was a pit bull or some shit. I don't understand what the hell is going on with these people, why they're abusing their children, but I'm going to go ahead and play you guys this news clip and I will come back with the rest of my commentary.
Hospital and his father accused of a disgusting crime. Police say that this man, Joshua Cooper, bit off his son's nose out of frustration. Investigators are now left to wonder how frustrated a father could get in order to commit such a crime. Cooper faces both cruelty, child cruelty, and aggravated mayhem charges. Tia Ewing live now with more on how the baby is doing and his father's future. Tia?
Well, Stephanie, you know this child had to be in a lot of pain. Thankfully, the infant is now in stable condition at the hospital. As for the father, he is here, housed at the Solano County Jail behind bars. That sound, a cry for help early this morning, after a 17-year-old mother called police saying her son was bleeding from his nose when Fairfield police arrived here in the 1000 block of Alaska Avenue.
The fire truck and the ambulance and the cop cars, I saw something was going on.
They say it didn't take long to figure out what happened. The 1-month-old's father, 18-year-old Joshua Cooper, was arrested for allegedly biting off 1/3 of his infant's nose.
It's a very unusual case. It's disturbing. It was gruesome.
Detectives believe Cooper did it out of frustration because the child wouldn't stop crying.
I have a 3-year-old and a 2-month-old. You get frustrated, but to harm your child like that, I just don't see how anybody could ever do that.
Neighbors say they don't know Cooper personally.
I've seen him hanging out here.
But believes he lives in this apartment. The baby boy didn't just lose part of his nose, he suffered from a skull fracture and brain hemorrhaging.
Disfigure them for life is just something that I just can't even comprehend.
The child is being treated at Oakland Children's Hospital.
Very difficult scene and a very difficult investigation for the officers who were involved.
And hard to imagine the injuries that this child did sustain. You did hear it there, a skull fracture and also brain hemorrhaging. As for investigators, they will be looking to see how the child sustained those injuries.
You guys just watching the news clip, and this whole situation is just real disturbing. They're saying not only did he bite his son's nose off, but he also slammed his head into a wall, causing the baby to have brain hemorrhaging and skull fractures. This baby is 1 month old. If you guys have ever seen a 1-month-old baby, a 1-month-old is like this big. Their nose is like smaller than my pinky, and I have a really tiny pinky. I mean, how do you bite off your child's nose? How do you just dismember your child's face like that? And the saddest part is one of my subscribers on my Facebook fan page sent me an email. He's really close to both of these people. He went to school with them, and he also stated that he's friends with the baby's mother, and she's just distraught. She's saying that the day before, everything was all good. They weren't having any issues. He was planning on proposing to her the following month, and she doesn't know why this man did this to their child. So she's taking it really, really hard.
16 years old, the father who's accused of biting off their baby's nose is only 18 years old. He's in jail while the mother's been at the baby's side at Children's Hospital in Oakland. Doctors there reattached the nose, but they're still waiting to see if the surgery was successful. Fairfield police say this happened on Thursday. That's when they got a call from Angelica Riggins saying that her baby was bleeding from his nose. The baby's name is Tejan, and he's only a month old. Father Joshua Cooper told Fairfield police he bit off his son's nose out of frustration because he couldn't get the baby to stop crying. The mother, however, doesn't buy that excuse.
I didn't see no anger that morning. I didn't see no stress that morning. He was up playing with the baby. Waking up, seeing that my baby's right next to me in the hospital, it hurts. It hurts my feelings a lot, like my heart is broken.
Doctors also determined that baby Tejan had suffered a skull fracture and a brain hemorrhage. Mom Angelica says she doesn't know how her son got those injuries. Doctors are suspecting child abuse, and now Tejan is officially in the custody of Child Protective Services. The mother heads to family court on Tuesday. She says she's going to fight to bring her son home when he's released from the hospital. No telling when Tajon will be well enough. Doctors say he has a long road to recovery. In the
This
newsroom,
is why I
Lillian
say
Kim.
as parents, it's hard being a parent, especially a teen parent. If you are not ready to have a child, you should not be having one. I don't understand when folks stop using common sense and logic. If a child is crying, they're crying for just a few reasons, especially a 1-month-old baby. Usually with a 1-month-old, they just want to be held. They just want to feel that closeness. They just want to feel somebody hold them. Usually you can pick up a 1-month-old baby and they'll stop crying. Half the time, the only time you'll hear them cry is if they're hungry or if they're wet. And if this child was continuously crying, then that's fine. Take a break. Walk away from the child. But you don't hurt the child because the child is crying. I would never understand that logic that parents have, that if a child is crying, I'm going to shut the child up by slamming his head to the floor, or by biting the child, or by slapping the child. I mean, just think about it. As an adult, if somebody was to punch you in your face and you start crying, can anybody soothe you by punching you in the face a second time? No, it's going to make it worse. I mean, it's like, where the hell is the common sense and logic? How do you beat a child or bite a child or do anything harmful to a child to stop it from crying? I mean, I understand being frustrated. It's not easy taking care of a newborn. It's not easy taking care of a baby, especially when you're a teenager. But if you don't want the responsibility of taking care of a child, then maybe you shouldn't either be having sex or you should be using some type of protection, so that way you don't find yourself in a situation with a non-stop crying baby. You know, people have all these fantasies in their heads of what it is to be a parent and what it is to have a child. You know, yes, kids are cute and they're fun, but they're also a headache. They can also be stressful. It's also hard to deal with the child, especially when you're not ready. And you need to realize before you bring a child into this world, make sure that not only you're financially ready, but you're emotionally ready and that you're stable. The mother is 17, he's 18. You know, it's like, where were the adults to help them? You know, if they needed a break that bad, where was the grandparents? Where were the aunts? Where were the uncles? This baby's 1 month old. There should have been other people that had helped them as well. I mean, this whole situation makes no sense. His ass needs to be locked up. He really does. I don't feel bad for him. This poor baby's boy's nose has been damaged. They're trying to repair it, but he's going to have to wear those scars for the rest of his life. And it's over something that could have been prevented. His father bit his face off. It's not like he was bit by a pit bull. It's not like he was, you know, mauled by a dog. His own father bit off his nose. How sickening is that? You know, I just feel so bad for this child. Folks need to get it together. The mother needs to leave this situation alone. She don't need to make it work with the father. If he's willing to hurt y'all's child and not think twice about it, you need to pack up and stay the hell away from this man. This man means you no good. If he can hurt his own child, he will have no problem hurting you. Your job as a mother is to protect your child. You need to cut this relationship off and keep it moving. Point blank, period. Anyways, y'all, go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire disturbing ass situation that's coming from my third favorite state, crazy ass California. All right, deuces.